anniversary, it remains a global symbol of elite luxury, a place where the image of pristine, alpine perfection is meticulously maintained. But locals know this as the Paradise Paradox. It is the divide between the high-end tourism the world sees and the increasing strain on the residents who keep the valley functioning. 3 separate crises are currently testing the community's resilience. A former leader is facing a felony embezzlement trial. 6,000 gallons of hot asphalt tar have spilled near the Colorado River, and a relentless housing squeeze is pricing out the workforce. The collision between these political, environmental, and economic pressures reveals a foundational infrastructure struggling to support its own reputation. That struggle is currently playing out in Eagle County District Court, where former town councilman Gregory Moffett is standing trial on charges of felony theft and embezzlement. Prosecutors allege a deliberate diversion of $88,000, arguing Moffett's firm failed to remit funds required by a revenue-sharing agreement. These allegations force a re-examination of his political influence, comparing his private dealings against controversial votes on the Booth Heights housing development. The proceedings in Courtroom 3 serve as a test for Vail's internal oversight. For the community, the verdict will indicate whether the town can effectively disrupt the business networks that have historically influenced local development and advertising contracts. This political fragility has a physical counterpart. On Highway 6 near Rifle, a catastrophic collision has exposed the vulnerability of the region's primary supply lines. A Canyon Spirit luxury train struck an oil tanker truck on the tracks, derailing 2 locomotives and 6 passenger cars. The crash completely halted Amtrak transit and freight operations along the canyon. The impact caused 6,000 gallons of hot asphalt tar to spill near the Colorado River. Cleanup crews had to move immediately to prevent the oil from reaching the water, a task complicated by the narrow constraints of the canyon. For the I-70 corridor, this wasn't an isolated accident. It is the reality of a logistics network that relies on rigid traffic mandates and specialized mountain laws to keep vehicles moving through these tight geographic bottlenecks. A spill of this scale highlights the risk built into the corridor. Transporting hazardous materials through these specific alpine choke points makes every logistics error an existential threat to the river and the valley's economy. The physical risks are increasing as the climate shifts. A record hydrological deficit has turned the threat of wildfire into a permanent year-round crisis for the Eagle River Valley. The urgency of this change is defined by the legacy of retiring Fire Chief Mark Novak. During his tenure, he moved the department toward an aggressive, data-driven strategy to fight fires 12 months a year, rather than just during the summer. But technology and strategy can only go so far. To staff these departments, workers need to live in the community they protect, and right now, the housing market is effectively pushing them out. This data shows the widening gap between the valley's soaring median home prices and the stagnant average wages of its essential workers. It's why local governments are now pushing for new regional housing taxes to comply with state mandates. Without new financial intervention, the essential workers needed to fight fires and maintain roads will find themselves permanently excluded from the valley's housing market. The true cost of these compounding pressures is measured in the human toll. It's the focus of Local Legends, Edge of Resilience, an event centered on the mental health impacts of living in this high-pressure environment. Elite athletes like Michaela Schifrin are utilizing their platforms to address the Paradise Paradox directly. They are speaking about the stress that comes with the pursuit of excellence in a culture that often ignores the personal cost of high performance. The program connects the intentional practice of professional sports to the daily grit required for local residents to survive the economic and environmental grind of the valley. Surviving the future of the Eagle Valley requires abandoning the old illusions of effortless luxury. It means holding leaders accountable for their business ties and adapting to the unforgiving realities of the mountain economy. Subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to stay completely grounded in the harsh, daily realities of the